UN human rights chief says Donald Trump's ban on travel to the US from 12 countries, 7 of them in Africa, raises concerns under international law. The ban is to go into effect on Monday. One of the countries on the list is Sierra Leone. I've been speaking to that country's Minister of Information and Civic Education, Cee Bah. So why does he think Sierra Leone is on that list?
The U.S. government, thankfully in this case, has made clear that the reason Sierra Leone is on the list is because of our overstay rate. Apparently, a good number of our citizens who go to the U.S. either for studies or for visit purposes tend to overstay more than the average rate, and that's the reason that's been given.
So how is your government going to respond to it? Because Chad is taking a very tough line. They're saying that they're going to suspend all visas to US citizens to reciprocate the US ban. That's a very strong statement. They seem quite angry about it. Are you going to do something similar?
Not at all. Sierra Leone, we're a law-abiding country. We respect the rights of the United States and any country for that matter to set their own immigration policies and decide who goes into their country based on the laws of their own country. What we're doing in Sierra Leone is we acknowledge the overstay rate. This is something we've been talking about for a while in our country.
Do you know what that rate is for your country in particular?
We've been told that for visitor visas, it is about 15%, just over 15%. And as well for student visas, it's close to 40% of people who tend to overstay in the U.S. So we will continue to engage the United States Embassy in Sierra Leone, the U.S. State Department, to see what additional steps that we can take to address the concerns that they have raised so that we will continue to strengthen our relation with the U.S. and we can ultimately remove Sierra Leone from this list of the partial ban. We will also welcome the fact that for us, it's not a total ban. It's not a ban on our country. It's those with visas will continue to go to the U.S. Currently, diplomats, other official visas will continue, which leaves the room, and we want to continue to pursue that option so that when the review is up again, we've been told it will be in about 90 days, we will have done the things we need to do to get off of that list.
What are you going to do then? What is it that your government can do to try to stop people overstaying once they're out of your jurisdiction? They're not in your country anymore, they're in the States.
That's true. It's a very tricky process, but I think we don't start from a premise of saying there's nothing we can do. There's more pre-departure awareness education campaigns that we can do. We can help strengthen and collaborate on the pre-vetting process to ensure that people who are applying for visas have the document that they submit are true and they have stronger ties to their country. We can support in that if the U.S. government is willing to do that. We can do more diaspora engagements. We've got consular offices and outreach offices in our respective embassies, especially in the U.S., at least in Washington, D.C. and in New York. And we can use those as well to continue to encourage our citizens. We can do better as well as a government, to be honest with you, in terms of the staff or the government officials who go out and what sanctions we do, because sometimes it's not like people are moving completely to the US. What ends up happening is that people are just careless and they just overstay. They're supposed to take 1 month, they end up staying a month and a half, and all of those contributes to that data. So we want to do everything that we can. I think there are a few options that we're looking at. I know our Minister of Foreign Affairs is going to do as much as we can, and for us as well in the capital, the things we can do on the civic education front, those are things we'll continue to do, but our approach is not to be antagonistic, it's to figure out a way to address the issue.
Right, so Mr. Trump is right then, really. He's got a reason to be angry. And I mean, your country does have historic ties, really, with the States, doesn't it? A lot of people that live in the States, thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably could trace their ancestry back to Sierra Leone. And no doubt many of them would like there to be better ties between the two countries.
That's absolutely true. We have very, very strong ties that dates back to the transatlantic slave trade. But also, after the war in Sierra Leone, quite a number of Sierra Leoneans did settle in the U.S., and we've continued to enjoy a very strong tie with that country. We want to ensure that our citizens can go back and forth between the two countries, can share, move resources between the two countries, and we can look for the opportunities for cooperation.
And that's Cee Bah, there, Minister of Information and Civic Education of Sierra Leone.